There we go. My bad. I had the wrong audio source. Good evening and welcome to Pepper Tech. Today is Thursday, March 7th, and today is a birthday stream, and it's also a regular stream, but we're going to just do it as it is and spend some time together and enjoy having a conversation. Let me make sure everything's why it's acting funky for me here, but we'll check it out. There we go. I'm using a new service for this stream. I'm using Talk Studio Streamlabs OBS because, for one, it is more cost effective. It's $19 a month, or if you do it for a year, it's $150 for the year. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. Hi, Ron. Well, happy birthday to him. Awesome. Lots of March birthdays going on. My niece's birthday is tomorrow. Mine's Sunday. My sister-in-law's birthday is Monday. And so that's kind of what's going on. I was doing a little bit of reading and a couple things came up. One, an ex um, employee of Google's AI division apparently was let go as it was determined that he was stealing information and selling it to some Chinese company. And I love how they put that and they're so arbitrary about who it is and they're so into like not really telling what company, just some Chinese company. And then another thing today, TikTok, there's a discussion on this ban, and the House has voted to say, yeah, we want to ban TikTok, and they have just over 5 months to respond, 155 days to reply and determine if they're going to sell or continue. Another little tech thing that I thought was interesting is that as far as for iPhone users and people who use PayPal or Venmo, businesses are now going to be able to accept pay on their iPhone from tap to pay cards, from PayPal and from Venmo and from other apps and things like that. So it's kind of interesting. Jojo says, my son showed me that when he opens TikTok, a notice comes up about that. Yeah, I haven't checked TikTok today. Actually, we can do this live, and see how it goes. I think I have TikTok over here. I do. Let's see what happens. Of course, I gotta be careful about copyright. Um, I just get that somebody posted a video. Yep, that's it. I just get videos and no alerts or anything about what's going on. I'm curious. Now that makes me curious if it's going to happen. If I open TikTok on my Android device, do I get an alert? Because I did not on my iPhone. Interesting. Nothing there either. So maybe it depends on if you are creating content or viewing content, whether or not you get notified for that. The other thing is, oh, okay, he got it on his Pixel. Text. So I'll just let this kinda scroll across the top. Also, for people, if they want to support the channel, buymeacoffee.com/michaelpoppertech. There is also oh, I froze. There is also I don't know why it's doing this. My camera froze. That's lovely. Let's try that. Okay. I think we are back and hopefully still good. That is weird. Thank you. That was really weird. It froze up on me for some reason when I tried to bring in so that's not good. I may not be using their service for longer than a month if that's gonna if that's gonna happen, I might have to switch and just use something free like, StreamYard for a little bit. So I don't know why it shouldn't be lagging at all. I don't know what's going on with their end. Um, hmm, that's really strange because I got everything set up. I was testing it earlier and it was working perfectly fine. So let me check something. That's gonna be really annoying if that's the case because let's test, see here. Okay, good. Yeah, it was like it hung up on me earlier when I tried to run some stuff across the screen, so I don't know what's going on with that. Let's try that again. So, yeah, if I put this up here, let's see what happens when I do this. Okay, good. Birthday celebration. Everything's working perfectly fine. So, anyways, as I was going to say, if you want to support the channel, there is the buymeacoffee.com/michaelpeppertech, of course, Cash App, Michael Pepper Tech, and most importantly, just watching content on the channel. So, um, other tech news that's going on is I did pick up, and if you haven't seen my videos on switching from Mac OS and moving away from the Apple ecosystem, I'm actually on my Windows computer right now, but I did pick up this guy, the Space Black 14-inch MacBook Pro, M3 Pro, 18 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of storage. So kind of a middle ground version. And part of that is I just discovered that Windows isn't a great tool for content creation for me. The software that's out there as far as free stuff, paying for by the month, I've already paid for software, so I'm not going to then pay Adobe or pay other companies. And so that's kind of where I'm at with that. So, Mr. Noble TV said, I did a stream a week and a half ago. I just used my AirPods with no microphone. Stream great for live. Yeah, I'm just, adjusting some things. Hello, Art Dog. How are you? Tech King Mike. Yo, what's up? Sean, how's it going? LaShawn, how are you? Jojo, was in here earlier. Just making sure I didn't miss anybody that's come in so far. So, if you haven't seen kind of my coverage on utilizing Android and switching away, yes, I'm still using my S24 Ultra. I did move away. I did stop using my iPhone, and um, so okay, this is yeah. So that's what you might get on TikTok. Stop a TikTok shutdown. Congress is planning total ban on TikTok. Speak up now. So thank you, Jojo, for sending that over. Um, So, Michael Corcoran says, "Happy birthday." Thank you. It's interesting, learning new software and getting back to it, but it isn't much different than most of the software that's for this. It's just some things, um, shifted, so says, "See, I use my iPhone and my Z Fold 5." Yeah, I kind of was doing that, um, for a while. Ardex says, "Stopped using the iPhone completely." No, I use it for content creation now. It's just a tool that I use for when I'm recording because obviously I can't be recording on the S24 Ultra when I'm talking about it, and also just simply because of the whole workflow thing. I tend to use my phone for recording. I do have an A6100, which is what I'm using for the stream here. I can show you guys kind of. So this is you guys. Let me take a photo here quick here. So I do use an A6100 for my live streams and I do some for recording, but the it's just easier to use my phone to record, and then the fact that I'm so used to using LumaFusion and Pixelmator, which are, on iOS, macOS, they're available on both, that it's nice to just be able to do that on here, and I have LumaFusion on here, but it's missing some features, so hopefully they'll bring those and they'll make it really easy. Because I have a LG monitor here that you saw, it's a 27-inch 1440p monitor, and I can plug in via USB-C and then use something like Samsung DeX, and I like using that, but I just wish that they would bring all the features over. So, I just wish that, it would be mutual version on both iOS and Androids, and we don't see that, and then s Microsoft has kind of killed off the Android apps on Windows, so there's not really that going on, and so it's just kind of a bummer that those features aren't really there to make it easier and to take time to learn all new software instead of being able to create content and put out videos for you guys is just not something I really wanna do, so I will just use it as a tool. And so it sits over there, and most of the time it's on do not disturb. It's still a thing where like my son wants to FaceTime his grandparents, and so oh yeah, sorry, I did say so it's the Sony A6100. My bad. So, for me, it's all about the tool that you use, but I am using Windows, and I really like the whole quick share aspect. I like phone link, the fact that I can sit here and if notifications go off on my phone, I can respond to them on my keyboard and mouse, and I could be doing that right now, and you wouldn't even necessarily know that I'm doing that, and that's really nice. Things like using my Samsung Tab S9 Ultra as a secondary monitor if I wanted to and be wireless with that. I don't use second screen, which is built in. I don't use it for that function. I do use it when out and about for a different purpose, but I use an application called Super Display, and I can show you. So let's see. It is utilities, right, right there called Super Display. And so I use that because it supports the full resolution at 120 hertz touchscreen. The only downside is the audio doesn't come over with it, but I use Bluetooth headphones most of the time then with that and just be able to walk around and continue doing what I'm doing, things like that. I mean, I could have a live stream up on here and then just walk off into the other room and do that. So I'm utilizing multiple ecosystems. Obviously, the iOS, macOS side of things for content creation is nice, but my watch, like my Apple Watch is sitting over behind us, over right back there, and it's on the charger, but the charger isn't even plugged in. It's been turned off for a few weeks now, and I've just been using my Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. I love it. Notifications come in a little bit delayed, but so, you know, I I do have a line on it because I've been testing out Visible to see if we want to potentially move all of our accounts over there, and then I'm gonna be sending the, the iPhone with my wife to her work to see make sure of as far as, like, signal and service on her way to and from work and stuff, so she can have that up, and then maybe have, like, music playing and see if it stops and stuff, and so that will be a good test to determine if we were on a move over to there, plus having it to be able to hotspot is kinda nice. So right now, let's see, travel check equipment, carry around, so, if we are going to be gone somewhere, like, for example, going to visit my in-laws, I will bring my MacBook, my iPhone, and then, I now have an Elgato, Wavelink 3 microphone, which just uses USB-C, so I could live stream with those things, and then as far as making content, since I just record on my phone, then transferring that over, so, um that's kind of my method is just recording on my phone and uploading right to YouTube lately. So sometimes I don't even need my computer to do some of those, but I've been trying to do some more transitions and intros and things like that and get a little bit more complex and improve my quality. And then LumaFusion, which, I could run on here. Um, but if I want to record on my Galaxy phone, and then what I do is it doesn't usually take very long, and it's up on Google Photos, and then I just bring the video down onto my MacBook, or I can do the, share via a link, and then same thing, it kinda uploads and then downloads from the cloud, but there's alternatives to that as well. There's things that are similar to AirDrop. Usually what I do right now if I'm here is I do quick share to my computer, and then I have, um, where is it? I have a T7 drive somewhere around here. I have my Samsung T7 portable SSD. It's a 1 terabyte one, and I use that and transfer video footage, over to that. So the other thing can do is plug it into this and then just grab the footage and save it to the file on there, and create a file for whatever YouTube video title I'm working on and save it to that. And then I could immediately plug it into my iPhone and edit it if I wanted to record on my S24 Ultra and edit on my iPhone, or vice versa, or record on here, save it on there, and then just plug it into my MacBook and edit off from it. It's plenty fast. 1050 megabytes per second is plenty fast. So, um, let's see. Mr. Noble TV says, I know I've been using my Watch 6 Pro a lot more than my Apple Watch 2. And then Michael Corcoran says Galaxy Watch 5 Pro has been 120 on the Samsung website. Um, So the deal on Slick Deals. Yeah, I also saw it for I think it was 150 on Amazon. Lagging again. You refresh again. Not happy at all with. Not happy at all with this website. So it looks like I may or not be using this website next next time. I might be requesting a refund, a matter of fact, as soon as this stream is over. Let's see. Okay, I'm back. Good. So I guess I just can't bring up some stuff. So anyways, I was saying $150 on so let's see. TicWatch Pro 3 doesn't want to charge anymore, 3.5 years old. I'm gonna quit Wear OS, but the OnePlus Watch 2 is making me consider that. Um, let's see. Is there any reason why smartwatches always have proprietary chargers and not USB-C? That is an interesting question. So funny you bring that up because I'm actually gonna do something and see if this helps. There we go. I well, that's a mess. Apparently, it doesn't want to let me do anything other than crash the website. So I guess I will not be using this anymore, and that is annoying. What happened? Okay. Yeah, that's annoying. Super annoying. Like, I half want to just not use this and start a new stream, but you all have been here with me for about a half an hour, and I don't want to make y'all come back. So here's what we're gonna do. If I were to create a new stream and come back in, like, 2 minutes, should I do that or stick with this? Put a 1 in the stream if I should leave, or a 2 if you think it's fine. Um, and let me know. And we'll base it on that because this is really super annoying. Like, I could simultaneously create a new stream right now. Matter of fact, I might do that, um, in StreamYard and be back on that in, like, a very short amount of time. Okay. Okay, I'll just leave it be and try something different next time around. So I think it's fine now. I'm just not gonna touch anything. If I have to show you something, I'll show you on my phone, I guess. So what I was gonna show you guys is let me pull up the OnePlus Watch charger, and this is on Amazon's website. So this is what they use, and it uses pins, and then it's got USB-A at the other end. And okay, yeah, that's gonna be confusing. So anyways, let's see. I am going to see about yeah. So the charger using that, and then you have to use an adapter. And so that's kind of a bummer. Like you'd have to use where is it? You're gonna have to use an adapter that goes from regular USB to USB-C to charge your watch if you're out and about. And so, it's kind of a bummer. I think I disconnected my second monitor that I had connected via USB-C, and I think it's that was causing issues. So I'm gonna have to do some testing and see, but um as long as it stays good for the rest of the stream, I'll continue using this. If not, I am going to request a refund, or I just won't renew it next month. And I'll do some more testing and see if updates have anything to do with anything. I also might test it on my Mac and see if that helps, because I know sometimes difference in older hardware. The computer I'm using as an AMD Ryzen 7 2700X overclocked version, and then an RTX 2070 overclocked. Um, and it's been working fine. It's just I had some issues today that I did some driver updates. There's some crazy stuff going on. So I don't know if that's causing it or what the issues were, but I think I have got it working fine now. So yeah, it's kind of annoying when these watches use proprietary chargers and you have, like, some puck you have to use. Like, I would rather be able to just use something like this. It'd be nice to just be able to use a USB-C to USB-C cable and just do that, especially because something like being able to plug into your tablet or plug into your laptop or plug into whatever and be able to just continue doing what you're doing is kind of really nice. And so I don't get why these companies use these proprietary chargers. Especially what's really annoying too is when if you upgrade and then they've changed things. So some companies have gone from like 3 to 4 to 5 to 2 pin, like they've changed their pin layout, and so you can't even use your old charger, or like the size of the puck changes, or things like Apple and Samsung, their charging pucks were the same size, but they were using the opposite polarity of each other in order to make it so you couldn't use one with the other. So instead of companies just agreeing on a charger, I mean, we have phones now, like the EU, this whole push to, be able to charge your phone, you know, S24 Ultra, right? iPhone 15 Pro, they both are using USB-C. I can plug in the same charging cable and plug and charge either one of them. But watches, which I mean, I guess I kind of understand, but last I looked, I was looking this up yesterday, there are 100 million Apple Watch users, like, concurrent like, that's the number they have, and then you have all the Galaxy Watch users, and you have some Pixel Watch users, and you have, ones that are using, like, third party you have Xiaomi watches, and you have Huawei watches, and you have all these other companies, yet you can't agree on a charger, and we're trying to make smartphones, which, I mean, ironically, the the numbers on that, there's, like even though Apple sells hundreds of millions of iPhones a year, it's not like one particular iPhone is mass in the market that is, like, 100,000,000, but 100,000,000 Apple Watches to have them all, it's so annoying. Huh. Works both watches, Apple and Android watches, you use power bank. Oh, yeah, because some of them I know some of them don't some of these, like, wireless chargers have the little curve dip in it, but they don't have a specific polarity, so you can just set it on it, and then they'll charge, and it doesn't matter which. I found a dual I actually found a three-in-one charger on Amazon. So it's a wireless charger for your phone, and then there's 2 separate spots. One spot for Apple Watch and one for Galaxy Watch, depending on what you wanna charge. Yeah, mind your help. Garmin too, so thank you. Yeah, Garmin is out there with, all their stuff, and then you have, like I mean, there's tons of different companies. Michael Corcoran says, "Yeah, I think smartwatches are exempt from the USB-C standard, probably because of their size, although headphones need to comply, so I need to research this." So, I wonder if it has something to do with what they're categorized under. If they're categorized under, like, an accessory, if they're categorized under a product, and what is included in all of that. That'd be something I can dig into and maybe do a video on. That'd be a good topic to look into and put out content on, so hmm. I just wish, like, the one annoying thing, and I mean, Apple Watch is the same thing, like, technically, Apple Watches, you can't do reverse wireless charging with because they don't but with this, because of the design of it, like, even if it can fit over, I would have to sit here and hold it down like this in order to get the reverse power share to work, so, like, I'd have to sit here holding it like this because or, like, remove the band somehow, and that would be annoying because they use, pins, and even if you have a band that can break, in the middle, it doesn't matter because it doesn't so something they changed with the more recent model on the Galaxy Watches is really annoying with that. Yeah, I think of all the chargers with pogo pins that are in landfill right now. That's true, all these chargers that are off, like, just in the trash because nobody's using them anymore, and it's just kinda disappointing. So, there's no there's no reason that that's needed. You have companies that are like Framework that's making laptops where you can disassemble them and change out things, including like the graphics aspect on the newer ones now. So if you wanna upgrade the GPU, you can do that. You don't have to upgrade the whole board. There's gonna be a separate board, almost like a daughter board that connects and the graphics can be changed out. There's ports on it that are basically these like 1 inch by 1 inch by, I think, maybe half an inch or so thick USB-C dongles, and so you can swap out ports just by swapping those out. So if you want an HDMI port, you just plug that in. If you need regular USB, you plug that in, Ethernet, whatever, anything over it, because essentially it's working like Thunderbolt. It's just a little internal underneath on the bottom, it just slides in and out. The other cool part about that is if you were out and about and you wanted to use one of those adapters with your phone, you could just pull it off there and plug it into your phone. So let's say you have an Android phone that has a desktop mode or just video out in general. Instead of having to bring adapters for it, if you had a framework, you could just pull that adapter out of the framework laptop, plug it into the bottom of your phone. I mean, with a case on, it might not work, um, but just plug it into it and then plug your phone in and be able to get that. Same thing with maybe you want to connect up to Ethernet because some hotels have a Ethernet plug in the wall, but they don't charge you for, but they'll charge you for faster Wi-Fi. So, see, I have a solo band on my Apple Watch and Samsung watches, so they work great. I just flip the solo band and charge them. Yeah, um, I have the sports watch or sports like one band on my Apple Watch, and that's what I would do is just take it apart. But with this, I mean, there's plenty of space. It just has to do with how the band, like, because of the angle. Let's see, because of this angle right here now, it doesn't set flat anymore. So it's great for on your wrist because it's more comfortable in my opinion, but it's awful in comparison to like I had the 4 Classic and I really liked it, but battery life wasn't the best. The 5 Pro is probably the best like smartwatch that I've had battery life wise. That's not, I should say that's like first brand. So made by Samsung, not made by like Mobvoi, like the TicWatch, or not made by another company. Um, and I mean, that brings a whole other discussion. Something that just came into mind as well is the the benefits that first party companies like Apple and Samsung and Google have with making OnePlus now with making their own watches for their own devices. Um, yeah, you get limited with using those with other companies. Like, you can't use an Apple Watch if you don't have an iPhone, or at least one to pair it with to start it, get it going, and then theoretically, you could then connect it over Bluetooth or, like, create a hotspot on your phone and then pair it to it, but that would just be really inefficient. But anyways, the idea there we go. Water resistant, I guess water resistance is easier without a USB-C port, especially with such a small chassis. Yeah, but I mean, you have them on the bottom of your phone, but I guess the space for putting the mesh in there, because in most of these they're secluded, so the port is like doesn't go into the internals of the device. And then some companies they use like a little mesh in there that's so fine that water droplets can't get through it. And so that's not as a problem on your phone, but on a watch, the space that you would take up too, because that's got to be internal. So using pogo pins, you don't have much space for that connection to take up. Um, so that makes sense. Yeah. Um, but with all this tech going on and all these different ports and all these different discussions, it's interesting to see that the shift in things. Like what I was going to say is up until the fourth series of Galaxy watches, so Galaxy Watch 3 and earlier, a lot of those, you could use them connect to an iPhone. Same thing with the Galaxy Buds up until the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, like the Galaxy Buds Pro, the regular Galaxy Buds, where you could use those. I mean, you can use them with an iPhone, but their wearable app actually supported it. And I think a lot of it comes to the terms and services now. So when you have a Samsung phone, you've agreed to their terms and services. And yeah, when you launch the wearable app, there's additional terms and services that you're agreeing to. But a lot of those are already done when you bought this device. And so they don't have to put some of those in there. And so as far as my understanding, Samsung would then have to put new terms and services into their wearable app for other companies, and that's why you don't even like, if you pair it with a Pixel, or you pair it with a OnePlus, or you pair it with a non-Samsung device, you don't get the full functionality. There's some features that are left out. I mean, that's even regional dependent. I know, like, in the US, you don't get some of the, like, there's, what is it, blood pressure monitoring, that they've added some features that do that in other countries, but not in the United States, which is really strange to me. And, you know, that's kind of a tricky thing. The And then OnePlus, same, they, each of these companies, I think that's why we're starting to see more and more companies going into the smartwatch realm. Yeah, they can get the money themselves, but the other thing is they can't control what other companies, like, they can't really say, okay, we'll give you access, or like when you buy a OnePlus, you're agreeing to these terms and services ahead of time, and if you pair, a watch, or like, we'll just put it in. If you pair a Samsung Galaxy watch in the wearable app, the version that they give us will have these agreements too. Like, they can't control that, but OnePlus can control their own. And then, they have a whole ecosystem on their side now. You have the OnePlus Pad, you have the OnePlus Buds, you have the OnePlus 12, the OnePlus Open, you have, different versions of their buds, the Buds 3, the Buds 2 Pro, the Z Buds, even their wired ones, the OnePlus Watch 2. They have, like, their whole ecosystem. The only thing they don't have really is a computer and, like, a smart speaker and, like, a TV adapter or a dongle, like a Chromecast or, like, an Apple TV. They don't need that because you can buy just a Chromecast and then have that because it's an Android device. So, what I don't understand is, um, you know yeah, the answer to all your questions is money. Yeah, exactly. It's always money. Um Isolation. To me, I think it's funny that, as somebody who, I've used devices from all different companies, going back to, the Galaxy S3, the iPhone 4, uh, I had some OnePlus 6T. I've had some no-name devices that, who knows what they were made by. I had HTC. I've had an Honor device, I've had Huawei devices, I've have a Vivo, I've had a couple of Vivos, I have the X Fold that I still use, the X9, the X80 Pro, which cracked the screen, I'm sad about that. But it's funny to see, like, Apple being so closed off in their ecosystem, but now Google is doing the same thing. The, the Nest series, uh, um you can't use old Nest Wi-Fi with the new ones, like, they aren't reverse compatible. Amazon kinda did that with some of their Eero stuff too, and it's funny to see that because I know, like, when the Airport Extreme came out, you could still use, like, things functioned okay, and now you're seeing other companies that were really open closing things off, I think because they started to realize 2 things. 1, money. 2, if they can control it, they can optimize it better, and they don't have to rely on other companies for the hardware and software to work well together. Sharkfin Tech says, "Happy birthday in advance, Michael. When is the exact date?" March 10th. Sunday, March 10th, I'll be 34. Just a little bit of a thing here. Again, if you do want to support the channel, buymeacoffee.com/Michael Pepper Tech. It's linked down below. You can always Cash App, $ Michael Pepper Tech, capitalize the M, P, and the T. I do also have a Patreon page as well that I do put out articles on. Those are all linked down below in the description. Just watching content. Um, Even if you just put it on and have it playing in the background and you're listening to it, maybe you're, headed to and from you're headed from work and a video came out the night before, or during the day, or you're headed to work and it came out the night before, just throwing it on your phone, listening to it on the radio is helpful. Giving likes on content. So, I'm not one to be like, hey, I'm gonna, you need to pay this and that, but I do have ways to support if you choose to. So, um, hi Eric, how are you? I'm assuming you're probably working on podcast video for to drop tomorrow. It really is great. Let's see, it's really great to see OnePlus making inroads all around. Yeah, it is. I mean, I've thought that they've been great for a number of years. In all honesty, yeah, the cameras weren't the best on like the 6T that I had or the 7T, but I never thought that they were absolute trash. Like they were, they were easily usable. Um, yeah, obviously, things like the Pixel and the iPhone were better if you were talking about like still photography and video, but that's been the way, comparing them with just quick photos versus a lot of other companies. But I feel like starting with the 8 in particular, the issue I had with OnePlus devices is they only were working on T-Mobile, and then they started working with Verizon, but they had kind of some limitations with that. But, um, T-Mobile was just not good around my area, and, like, when we would go to visit the in-laws and stuff, it wasn't good there either. Now T-Mobile is actually the best as far as some of the stuff around us, so, um so, that's kind of I don't know. I had the OnePlus 11. Buddy of mine broke his phone. He had this 16. He really needed a new device. And I had already given away my 7T. And so I told him, hey, I'll sell you mine. I made him a really good deal, 500 bucks. Um, he paid me 400 up front and then 100 the next month. And, I shipped it off to him. And so now he's got this great device for that. May look to pick up the 12 at some point. The great thing is I've kinda shifted to how I'm doing some things, so you'll notice that with my channel that, like, for example, the MacBook's been out for a while, but I'll still be doing videos on stuff. I do videos just on as I get it, whether it's, something I need. Um, there's gonna be some household products coming up in videos, so Um, there's that. Sharkfin says, "You're young. I could be your father, Darth to Luke." That's funny. Um, let's see. Like Ferneet says, "Why are you considered changing your carrier?" So I am on T-Mobile, and we're finally have like I paid got some tax money in, and paid off all of our payments on there, all of our lines and everything there, and so I So our cost, it's like 160 a month, roughly 150. One oh we one 160 a month, but I can get $5 off a line with autopay, so it'll be 140 a month, which isn't bad for what we're getting. It's the 5G Go Plus or whatever. Go 5G Plus, Go 5G Plus. Yep. So, you can upgrade your device every 2 years if you choose to, and all that stuff. Which is a great way for them to, keep you on there because you're gonna make payments and so you're gonna be paying, more than that per month. You'd be paying $240, $200 or more easily, maybe closer to $300 a month if you were to add, iPhones and other stuff on there, unless, you're getting one where they'll have a deal where, oh, you can get it for free or trade in a device and you get an extreme discount on it. Um, but when I was looking at our usage, the highest we used was maybe 35 to 40 gigs a month combined. And the nice thing I do like about having T-Mobile is like, if our internet goes out, I have unlimited data, including like 4K playback. And sometimes we like to just go sit at a park, or like we'll go park downtown where I live here. And I took my phone and I did thing the other day. I took that. We went out with that and my Tab S9 Ultra, and I enabled second screen function on the Tab S9 Ultra, and then it shows as a wireless recipient to wireless DeX. So, okay. So if I go and I swipe down and I go DeX and I go wireless DeX, my TV shows up. But I'll do a live demo here real quick. This should be interesting. So if I do that, and you don't even have to be on the same Wi-Fi network, and it's not using hotspot to do it. It's directly casting it. It doesn't use the hotspot at all. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn off Wi-Fi, and then I'm going to enable second screen function here, and I'm going to turn off Wi-Fi on my phone, and I'm going to go on my phone. I'm going to go DeX, and then what you'll see pop up. So both of my devices are, so this is on cellular, you'll see there, and then no Wi-Fi on the tablet. And you'll see it says, Michael's Tab S9 Ultra, start now. I'm going to hit start now. And over on the tablet, you'll see that DeX is loaded up. And so now I can use the tablet and watch content, load up live stream perhaps. Let me load it up here real quick. So I could load up my live stream. And let me go into here. So you'll see my live stream is playing, and that is over cellular using DeX mode. And so that's something I really like to do. So I can close out the second screen. Let me close DeX out here real quick and connect back to Wi-Fi. So that's something I like to do, but I also have a tab. I also have this portable monitor here from Espresso Displays, and yes, I've made a few videos on this, that I can connect up with a single cable and then use DeXus as well. Or even with my iPhone, I can connect up a cable and then just play content from it. As long as you have a device that does video out, it'll work with that. So for me, we don't use a ton of data, but it's nice to have the extra data when we need it. But Visible does unlimited. Now you're limited to 480p playback, so that's one issue. But I was looking at US Mobile because they do have either Verizon side or T-Mobile side. But when I looked at it, to have my line, my wife's line, and then my son for when we're out and about. Yes, he's 5 years old, but sometimes, he plays, watches YouTube Kids or different things. But we could preload stuff for him, and even then, like I said, we don't use a lot. He doesn't use a lot of data. So I thought about that, putting him on Visible because he wouldn't care if it's 480p, and then us over there. But then you're looking at, it was $45 for one line, 90, and then 80 for two lines, I believe, because it makes it $40 a line if you do two lines, plus 25, so it's $105. So that's only $35 cheaper than we're paying now, but that's three lines. And I have four right now, and one of the extras is like, if I needed more hotspot, each of our lines we get 50 gigs of hotspot. So moving is difficult, And so that's the trick. How much you paid for the extra display monitor? So that actually was sent out to me by Espresso Display. Um, I commented on one of their tweets. Made one of my kind of a funny pun, and then I approached them about getting product for a review, and they sent me the whole kit. So they sent me the display, the folio case, their pen. There's a stand that they have that kind of can prop it up and makes it look like a little iMac in a way. Um, and a couple screen protectors. I did have a hard time with the screen protectors. So and I didn't really see a need to use those. I guess it's kind of supposed to give it a paper-like a feel, you know, but yeah. So if anything, we talked about doing visible and just switching us all to that because I could do 4 lines for $100 a month, and then if anybody uses like my referral link to them, I get $20 off up to I think you can do like basically up to a year's worth for free. They limit like you can't get like 500 referrals in a year. So it's pretty nice. The only problem is around here, Verizon speeds, they're improving, so that's not bad. I can actually I'll actually do this right now. Um, so visible 5G in the apartment in the bedroom here. Gonna connect to Detroit, Michigan towers. It's gonna be sort of nearby. So don't get necessarily the best speeds. But we don't necessarily get the best. I mean, that's not bad. That's usable. Let's see what the upload is. So the upload speeds are definitely better than I get on T-Mobile here. Um, and something like I would definitely upload content to YouTube with that. Um, and it's kind of neat. So, but US Mobile does 100 gigs of data per line, 50 gigs of hotspot. Now that hotspot does count towards the data, and so that's something worth checking out. There's different people that cover that. I might be covering that a little bit as I kind of test more of them out. So it'll be interesting to see. Um, Visible. The nice thing is they're owned by Verizon, and yeah, they're gonna be deprioritized when you get other people using it, you know, like any of them are though, for the most part. The thing with T-Mobile is I'm on basically their top plan, and so prioritized over anybody else on there. But with US Mobile, they buy buckets of data from Verizon, T-Mobile, and then AT&T is coming to them this summer, and there was talks of them offering a plan where essentially you'd pay one price and you could use all of them. So, oh, okay, 50 gigs it's gets limited. Yeah. It's like Verizon without customer support. Yeah, that's but like I said, we don't use a ton of data, so that's plenty. And, it being cheaper. So, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Well, I think we made it. I don't know that I'm gonna continue to use this service anymore because I would like to be able to, like, show you guys my screen and not have it crash the stream 3 times. And so, I will see you guys all in the next one next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless something goes wrong. Follow me on Twitter, at Tech Discussions, all capitalized. The O is a 0. Otherwise, I'm Michael Peppertech everywhere else. You can stay tuned to future content. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I saw some new people come through the stream. So, it'd be great if you subscribe, and then if you comment on one of my videos, hashtag new subscriber. That would be awesome to see. It lets, other people know and, share some of the content as well. Share the live streams when those go out. It'd be really helpful. I'm getting back into it again, getting my groove back. Try to have some guests on in the future, and I will, just stay tuned to the content. So, um, thanks to everybody for coming on through. And, thanks Jojo, thanks Holler at Your Boy, Tech for Your Needs, Ron Guido, Art Dog, Mr. Noble TV, Sean Robinson. I'm just looking through here. Savage Scientist, Mind Your Helm, Michael Cochran, and anybody else who came through to watch the live stream. I appreciate it. Um, and I will see y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace and love. As always, I don't only talk tech, I live it. It's part of my lifetime. It's part of my life. And have a good night. Peace and love.